going on, Jerome's? So there's a lot of things up in the air for the Minnesota Vikings this offseason, but we want to break them down as well as handicap it a bit. Tell us, tell y'all our thoughts and percentages, likelihood of it going down. So starting off at the top, topic du jour, Darnold is a Viking in 2025. We got that at 5%. Even though Kevin O'Connell says all the nice things about Sling and Sammy, and he had a hell of a season. Don't get us wrong. The Vikings don't win 14 games without Darnold. I just think that the way that it ended, it reverts things back to the original plan. Plan A. J.J. McCarthy year 2, and Darnold was going to be that bridge quarterback. But if things had gone differently, like if Darnold balled out but the Vikings came up just short in the playoffs, then it would be a tougher decision. Then it might be 50-50. But I think the Vikings and Kwesi, they planned to take the cap hits on the chin this year, clearing up that cap space, make sure that you got tons of it. Also, J.J. McCarthy on his rookie deal, he could build a FU team. And I don't think Darnold did enough at the end to change that calculus. And maybe Darnold is back on an extremely cheap deal. Like we're talking about, $25 million a year. And I hear what you're saying. Oh, that's way too low. Yeah. That's why he won't take it, because he will get more cash in free agency, because lots of teams need quarterbacks, and there isn't a lot of quarterbacks in free agency or this draft class per se. So just put at 5% because, I don't know, stranger things have happened, I guess. Yeah. Next up, number 2, sign over 2.5 splash free agents. Now, splash free agents, we're saying more than $15 million per year. I'm going to say 85%, because without Darnold taking up a significant chunk of cap space, and TBD what happens with Cameron Beasley-Bynum, what happens with Byron Murphy, I think that the Vikings are going to make some big time plays in free agency, not only at corner but also along the offensive line, notably guard. And I think the Vikings are going to spend cash because they got the motivation, they have a winning team, they have a great culture that will attract free agents. They're renowned to have great facilities as well. Does that mean that a player will take $5 million less to come to the Vikings? No. But if it's close and the money is equal, that certainly could be the tiebreaker for the Vikings. So I think that they are going to get busy in free agency, and I think that Kwesi's going to take some big-time swings up at the bat. Number 3, percentage chance that Daniel Jones returns as J.J. McCarthy's backup. I'm going to say 40%, because even though Daniel Jones will be sought after, he already escaped a bad situation and a bad team with the Giants, right? Now, does he just jump back into the fire with both feet? Does he go to the Saints? Does he go to the Raiders? Does he go to the Titans? I don't know if he does, because he could have gone, say he could have gone to the Raiders during the season, and he probably would have started for the Chiefs, started against the Chiefs on Black Friday that same week. But Jones, he chose the Vikings for a reason, and he didn't see it as, hey, I could play here this year, because Darnold was in full control and Nick Mullins was entrenched as quarterback too. But Jones wants good coaching, and he got that here. And maybe he needs a season to catch his breath, be a solid backup, maybe fill in spot duty if necessary, and completely fix things, get his mechanics back, get his confidence back. And there's no better place than here in Minnesota. Plus, since the Vikings likely won't be paying Darnold, they could spend up a little bit as Jones as a backup. Not saying crazy money, but say $10 million. Copy and paste Darnold's deal from this year, give it to Daniel Jones to be J.J. McCarthy's backup. Could make sense. Number 4, 2 starting guards not currently on the team. I'm gonna say that's 60%, because I think that the Vikings, speaking of making big time splash signings, I think that guard will be first and foremost. Now, I hear what you're saying. It's not a premium position. It is for the Vikings, because, frankly, the Vikings are improving their interior offensive line away from going from a top 9 offense to top 4, and they're not 4, right? So whether it's Trey Smith, Will Fries, Mekhi Becton, I do think that the Vikings will make some big-time moves in free agency. In terms of the draft, outside of, say, Tyler Booker or Gray Zabel, I don't see any starters coming to the Vikings in terms of offensive line day one. But, yeah, I think that they're going to hammer things in free agency. Speaking of the offensive line, percentage chance that Garrett Bradbury starts at center. I still think it's 80%. Now, is it something that I agree with? Not particularly. We have 6 years of data. What more do you really need? But it does seem like the team is loyal to Garrett Bradbury. It does seem like Kwesi, who extended Bradbury, by the way, Kevin O'Connell, who continues to start him, Chris Cooper, offensive line coach. I think the thinking is hey, if you improve the guard play around Bradbury, all of a sudden he'll get better. I don't know. And even though the Vikings save around $3.5 million in cap by moving on, I think the Vikings stick with him for another year. Maybe not on an extension. Maybe a last dance of Mary Jane on his contract year, and then go from there. 6% chance that the Vikings trade down from 24. I think that's 65%. I think that Kwesi is going to be wheeling and dealing Kevin Nealon out there as he wants to do, and it does make sense since the Vikings are short on draft picks this year with only 4 first, a third, and 2 fifths. And also, it depends on the offer, right? Because I think that that's why this percentage chance is so low, because I think that there is a chance that some teams may not be so enamored about moving on up unless they get their specific guy, unless it's potentially a quarterback that someone's fancy is struck with at the back end of the first round. Maybe a team goes from there, but I think the Vikings would be motivated to move down. Next, number 7, percentage chance that they have more than 4 draft picks in this draft. I think it's over 99%. So, of course, Kwesi, doing his damn thing, making some moves. And if they don't trade down in the first round, I think that they could make a move down in the third or in the 5th as well. Plus, don't rule out the chances that the Vikings could get a tag and trade done with Sling and Sammy Darnold. So, I think that the Vikings will find a way by hook or by crook to have more than 4 draft picks in this class. Number 8. Kwesi's extended as general manager. I think that's 95%. I mean, you could almost make that over 99%, but Kwesi, people sort of raise an eyebrows like, oh, well, I mean, they didn't extend him when they extended Kevin O'Connell. They're a package deal. It'll get done. And also, it's pretty noteworthy that the parameters of Kevin O'Connell's new extension, a very lucrative deal, didn't add any personnel responsibility. So he's not infringing on Kwesi's territory, which if Kwesi was on his way out, that would have made sense if O'Connell was starting to take over some of the personnel moves. So it's still separation of church and state, and Kwesi's going to get extended. And we've made this case before. O'Connell got extended after his season, and the offseason is Kwesi's season. So it may be after free agency, it may be before the draft, might be after the draft, but Kwesi's going to get extended. And I think that the team and organization, they're fully in, and they see Kwesi, they see Kevin O'Connell, they see J.J. McCarthy as a package deal. Like they sink or swim together. 9, 2 rookie running backs on this team. I think that's going to be 70% plus. Right? And the rookie running back class, I forgot who said it, but it was best described as it's 2 running back classes in one, right? And maybe there's only 1 first-round pick in Ashton Genty, but there's going to be a ton of high-end second-round guys like Caleb Johnson, Hampton, Henderson, etc. And there's going to be a fistful of players in the second round in the day 2, as well as top of day 3 as well. Plus, there's going to be so many good UDFA running backs where they would have been drafted in a normal class. But I think the Vikings are going to see some value there. And running back room-wise, do they bring Akers back? I would love to. Or do they bring Aaron Jones back if the price is right? Kevin O'Connell clearly wants to. But, yeah, this rookie class, I think the Vikings are going to partake a couple of times. Lastly, number 10, J.J. McCarthy wins Comeback Player of the Year. I'm going to say somewhere of 69%. Right? And, J.J. McCarthy just getting out there, getting after things. I think that next year, I think that he will have the best season of any of the quarterbacks taken in the 2024 class. Better than Caleb with Ben Johnson, better than Drake May with Josh McDaniels, better than Jaden Daniels, even though he had a pretty damn good year 1. Better than Bo Nix, better than Penix in Atlanta. I think that J.J. McCarthy is just going to be that dude, right? And I think that he'll run away with the crown. Other players eligible, Brandon Ayuk, McCaffrey, I guess, Stephon Diggs, Kirk Cousins, but no, I think J.J. McCarthy runs away with that there. But that's it. That's it. Never tell me the odds, so you're saying there's a chance. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.